America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we know this society is rigged, and it's been rigged from the beginning. The only time you hear about outrageous arrests, it's consistently done to black men. And we know it's all by design. They want it to be this way. They have put out to the entire planet, we are the big problem. We do this and we do that. Not the people who comes from their ancestors that stole the country, massacred people, been lying to us about virtually everything, and use the police force as their brute force against us to put us in our place. Will pick up a phone and lie about an incident in an attempt to get a black man killed. We have seen this consistently in this rigged up system. Whenever we see someone get arrested for watering flowers, Elijah McClain walking home from a convenience store, it's always consistently black men. You don't see them doing this to white men, or black men will be just sitting on a front porch talking to each other, and a cop will come rolling up and just start harassing them. And all they're doing is sitting on a damn front porch. This doesn't happen to white men. That's how you know when you see something happening to the same people over and over and over, and you don't see it happening to anyone else. That's how you know this is what they have decided to do to us hundreds of years ago, and they're still carrying it out today. And it's never going to stop. See, Joe Biden is going to sit there and give more funding for this sort of thing, but he doesn't want to deal with these things consistently happening to one community. He will fund the police before he gives you a crime bill. And that's exactly what he's done. Do y'all know that Congress passed four police bills last week, and not one bill had a thing to do with a crime bill for us? You can go look this up. Four police bills, not one, not one. And they don't want it that way. They've made too much money off of harassing us, accusing us, lying on us, jailing us for no crime committed at all. They've made too much money off of it. That's why they don't want to change anything. They're making tons and tons of money off of just what I said. Well, let's get to this case, y'all. This happened in West Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. And you know how they know they're wrong, because the story will come out months later after it happened. And here we go again. West Virginia deputies sued for arresting a black man over marijuana plants not found on his property. Y'all tell me when this has happened to a white man. I'll wait. How many white men have been arrested for marijuana plants and there were no marijuana plants on their property? At least he's suing. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. After finding four marijuana plants growing on a vacant property. Now, if this man lives with his wife, and they're an elderly black couple, if they live on a property, then it can't be considered as vacant if people are physically living there. So that should be the first thing that the cops should have realized it was not their property. They're living on a property with no marijuana on it, but you arrested this man for growing marijuana on a property with no marijuana plants. See, we been knew you rigged up the system, but as we go along, it is becoming so obvious. Even a foreigner that just got here can see how badly rigged up this place is. They may not all realize it in the beginning, but eventually they do realize it. All right, so let me read that again. After finding four marijuana plants growing on a vacant property, West Virginia sheriff deputies began questioning this black elderly couple sitting on their front porch of a house about two properties away from the vacant lot where the weed was found on August 7th, 2020. This happened in 2020, y'all, and it's just coming out now. This story just came out in September, and this happened in 2020. The deputies, they were asking the couple if they were the ones growing the marijuana, and they responded no. They had nothing to do with it. They spotted two black elderly people just sitting on their front porch. So they had to be the one on that whole street out of everybody. They had to be the ones growing it on that vacant lot. It could have been people that don't even live on that street that did that. Okay, you don't necessarily have to live on the same street where you're growing marijuana in a vacant lot. You could be living somewhere else, blocks away. So the deputies began snooping around their property, looking through windows, obviously not believing the couple. Yeah, because that's usually what they do to black folks. Whenever you tell them the truth and they keep pursuing something, then they don't believe you. They don't believe you. Very obvious. We see you do this to our kids at school. We see you do this on jobs. We see you do this when you're accusing black men, women, and children of stealing out of your stores. Y'all really look stupid on that. And then the camera shows nothing was stolen from the store. Well, I mean, wow. I mean, the rigging just goes on and on and on and on and on. So the couple then called their landlord to inform him that the deputies were on his property. Jason Tart, the landlord, lived next door, so he walked over to speak to the deputies. He told them his first and last name, but refused to provide his date of birth on the basis that the marijuana plants were not growing on any of his properties, and that's correct. Why would you go 2 doors down to a property with no marijuana and accuse them of putting it there based on what? Did you have any surveillance watching them plant the marijuana? Or you just assumed that because they were 2 black elderly people, so they had to do it. These deputies didn't have any proof. They put anything anywhere. But this just goes to show you how easy it is for them to pin crimes on black people that did not actually commit the crime. And they do this, ladies and gentlemen, to keep the prisons full. That's what they do it for. They got to keep these prisons packed to keep all that prison labor going. And they don't care how it's done, even if they got to put you in there innocent. That's how it's been all along. That's why you got these packed up prisons. And they make sure they put the same people, the offspring of the enslaved in America, in their prisons. They don't put a lot of their own. They try to avoid that at all costs. Look at how they're treating Brett Favre, who is a clear criminal. They don't want to touch him and put him in there. They would much rather ignore that story than put him behind bars where he really belongs. He's a criminal, a real one. So, McDowell County Sheriff's Deputy Dalton T. Martin informed Tart that he was required to provide his information, but Tart, a former military police officer, knew better. The deputies then arrested Tart on a charge of obstruction. Tart, that he was, they informed him that he was required to provide his information, but Tart knew better. See, they got somebody that was an actual police officer in the military, and he knew the law. Mm, mm, mm. The obstruction charge against Tart was dismissed 2 months later when the deputies failed to show up to court. Yeah, they didn't show up because they knew they were wrong. They knew they were wrong. Earlier this month, Tart and the couple, Donnie and Ventress Hairston, filed a lawsuit against Martin and the other deputies. Jordan A. Horn, McDowell County Sheriff James Boomer Muncie is also named in the lawsuit, which accuses the deputies of racial profiling by assuming they were the ones that grew the weed because they were black. The lawsuit, which can be read, also accuses the deputies of retaliating against Tart for daring to stand up for his rights as well as violating the rights of the Hairstons. Wow. For ordering them back into their house against their will. That's what they did to this elderly black couple. Wow. So Ladies and gentlemen, I could not post a video, but what I will do, I will leave the link to it so that you can watch it on your own. I did attempt to post it and I got flagged, so but I will post it. Look for it in the comment section. I will have it pinned there and you can watch the video from there. This is a disgrace. We see this all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how it's done in America to keep us caught up in the system, keep you incarcerated for decades for things you didn't do, and just the constant lying on Black people, constant lying on us about everything. And it's not just law enforcement, the citizens do it too. We have seen that a multitude of times. That's what they got Karen for, these women that appoint themselves to come out and deal with us and put us in our place and all that stuff. That's what they're around for, to create these scenarios, make up lies, and get the police involved. It's all a big joke. As we go along, it is obvious that the system is badly rigged up, and it's been this way from day one. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this ridiculous story. This ridiculous story of accusing people of planting marijuana on a vacant lot and you had no proof whatsoever that they were the ones that did it. You just spotted Black people that were just sitting on their front porch minding their business, but they had to be the one to do it. Unbelievable what these folks will go above and beyond to do. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. We would not have race to talk about if you weren't carrying it out every day. You give us something to talk about. And then you get mad when we get on these videos to say this. But you keep giving us the info to do it over and over and over. It is what it is. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.